Qingming Day, around April the 5th in the Western calendar, is when Chinese people pay their respects to their ancestors. Master Wu Nanfang and his students are off to visit the graves of the past Grand Masters of this Wugulun lineage and pay their respects. The first grave we visit is not much more than a heap of earth beside the road. This is the grave of the monk Chun Chuan, who rescued the third Grand Master when he was only a child, about 7 years old, an orphan living on the streets. The monk saw something amazing in this child, took him in and brought him up in a temple on the Loyang side of Song Mountain. These traditional paper offerings are burnt, as well as large handfuls of paper money. Of course, no Chinese celebration is complete without firecrackers. And this is the grave of the orphan child brought up by the monk, who grew up to become the third Grand Master of this tradition, Jiang Qinghe. He also qualified as a doctor and was in fact better known for his medical skills than for his Kungfu. When he was a young man, Wu Nanfang would sometimes visit the doctor in his office, and the third Grand Master would pass on Kungfu secrets between treating patients. When he died in 2004, this was just open country. But obviously the government felt that factories and farming were more important than commemorating the graves of Kung Fu masters. In about 1988, Master Jiang Qinghe came to the Shaolin Temple to treat his beloved Buddhist master, who was very ill. There he came into contact with a young monk, Dejian, who was studying and teaching at the temple. Dejian started training in the Wugulun Kung Fu style with him. Soon there were too many students for Dejian to handle, so Master Jiang Qinghe in 1990 requested Master Wu Nanfang, who was teaching Wugulun Kung Fu nearby, to come and help. Now we are visiting the grave of Wu Shanlin, the second Grand Master of this lineage, who lived to be nearly 100 years old. Wu Shanlin was the son of Wugulun, who, after he left the Shaolin Temple, married in order to have a child to whom he could pass on the secrets of Kung Fu. Wu Shanlin continued living in the same small village. He also married and had 2 sons, one of whom is Wu Nanfang's grandfather. He continued to practice and develop the tradition passed down from his father. The 1920s in China was a period of huge unrest and turmoil. In 1928, a general was looking at the Shaolin Temple as a possible source of resistance and danger, so he sent one of his officers there to try to gauge just what kind of a threat the fighting monks posed. The officer asked who the best fighter was, as he wanted to fight him and see how strong he was. He was told that actually the best fighter, Wu Shanlin, was not in the temple but in an isolated village in the mountains. The officer found Wu Shanlin and challenged him to a sword fight. So powerful was Wu Shanlin's qi that he paralyzed the man's sword arm with just a look and a shout, causing the sword to fall uselessly to the ground. As soon as he heard about this, the general decided the temple really was a threat and destroyed it almost totally. As Master Wugulun's greatest desire was that the Shaolin tradition should be returned to the Shaolin Temple when the time was right, Wu Shanlin returned to the devastated temple with his son, Wu Tianyu, with the intention of helping to rebuild it and restore the traditions and heritage which he had been preserving. He found to his dismay that the monks were demoralized by the defeat. Most had decided to either return to a secular life or join the army. The remaining few monks were men of poor character, and Wu Shanlin felt he could not pass on his knowledge to them as it might be used wrongly. He stayed for 3 years, teaching a few basic Wugulun Kungfu moves, but then returned to his village to wait for a more auspicious time. Many current Kungfu teachers claim that they know the original Kungfu moves from their teachers, who had practiced under Wu Shanlin. In reality, they know only a few very basic forms. Wu Tianyu had a son who sadly died when he was quite young. This son was Master Wu Nanfang's father. From an early age, Wu Nanfang studied with his great-grandfather, Wu Shanlin, and then with Qiao He Bao and Wu Yude, and later with Jiang Qinghe. He is thus the direct descendant and inheritor of the Shaolin Chan Wu Yi and Wugulun tradition.
More people know and learn Shaolin traditional culture. Make a big tombstone.
Make a big tomb.
Yeah, write a story about this man and this, his training story. So some foreigner and the students, they come here, they can know something about this first Grand Master Wu Shanlin.
Song Mountain is a UNESCO heritage site. But on the opposite side to the Shaolin Temple, China's huge building boom means that this sacred mountain has now become a quarry site. Here, at least, there is a small monument to Wu Shanlin.